Okay, so we've gone live on YouTube again. Hopefully those of you waiting on YouTube can access it this time. And if not, I'll send out a replay after this. Okay, here we go. There we are. We've got Emer on Zoom and Emer on YouTube. Is that an Emer overdose? Hopefully not. So I'm going to say hello to all of you that are here. That is so wonderful. Hi, Rose from Austria. Hello, Ira. Oh, thank you for listening in and that reminder that this is the time of Lunasa, the season of Lunasa, that we have stepped into the harvest time, the time of Grain Mother Talchu and Sun God Lu. And of course, it's also the Lion's Gate, of which there is great excitement this year. Haven't the energies been so intense? Oh my goodness. Hello, Carolyn from New York City today. Lovely. You're in New York today. Hello, Jennifer. Yeah, the computer's doing raised hands. It's lovely. We're all just high-fiving each other through the raised hands. Hello, Ina Rose from North London. Hello, Michelle from Lincolnshire in the UK. And Jennifer, you're in Vermont, USA. Hi, Steve from Massachusetts, USA. And Ira is half Colombian, living in Belgium with hubby and kids, are Irish. What a beautiful, rich, global, cultural blend. Love to learn about other cultures. Thank you. Ina Rose, yeah, Mercury retrograde with the live stream. Didn't want to go live first time round, so we tried again. Jeanette, hello from the witchy Canadian Rocky Mountains. Oh yes, play by play, yes. Hello, Jackie from Cambridge, UK. I can't believe it's been 5 years as well. I was saying it to my daughter there. I just picked her up from her boyfriend's house just before this. And I said this time last year we were going to the Edinburgh Dungeons, and she said too, I can't believe it's been 5 years. So we all can't believe it's been 5 years, and that is absolutely amazing. Hello, Leslie Ann from England. Hello, Hayley in Vancouver Island. I'm so glad you made it here. I think it's 5:30 a.m. for you there, so well done. Hello, Amanda from Parry Sound in Canada. And hello, Lika from the Netherlands. Lovely you're here. And hello, iPad from the mountains of Portugal. That's beautiful. Katerina, you had your own Witch Awakening 2 years ago during the wonderful Summer Solstice Summit on the Magdalene Witches. That's so wonderful to hear. I hope it was a good Witch Awakening. It can't be none other than good. And hello, Wendy from Illinois in the US. What a gorgeous group we have here. And let's see, is there anyone on YouTube? One person watching. Maybe that's me. Who knows? Two people watching on YouTube so far. So come on in, YouTube. What's your chat? Let's hear what's going on for you. Where are you calling in from? So today, I wish to celebrate this, the anniversary, the 5th anniversary of my personal Witch Awakening, but also there are so many of you that we have walked together since that moment, or perhaps you've joined the journey somewhere along the way. But I wanted to take today as a moment of reflection to honor the journey and thereby honor our journeys over these last few years since that key year of 2020, which was such a turning point for so many of us in our lives, in our business. I want to honor that and honor myself, what this has brought me, and honor all of you as well. And it's also been a beautiful time for me to really sit down and walk and reflect on, well, what has unfolded since then, because going into the dungeons 5 years ago in Edinburgh, it does feel like only yesterday. And yet we have lived each moment since then over the course of 5 years. So I'm going to share some high level and deeply soulful reflections on what that has meant for me and what's unfurled. So I have got some notes, some themes to guide me here, just to stay on witchy track. And I'm going to share some truths as well. I'm not sugarcoating this journey. As you all know, It's not a journey for the faint-hearted when we say yes and show up and walk our soul path, regardless of who thinks we're crazy, we've gone down this witchy road or this soulful road. Who are we now? And I ask that myself many, many times on this journey. So I'm sharing it all with you here today, live on Zoom, live on YouTube. This is what the gift, the Witch Awakening, has given me, the courage to speak, regardless of what any consequences could be. And then, after all of that, I do have a new offering to share with you that I am so deeply excited by. And this emerged from reflecting on this Witch Awakening, where it's brought me and where I personally am being called to step into now in terms of the next archetype to heal, to integrate, to walk with, to become and embody. So I hope you can stay on and enjoy this. And if not, we'll see you again in the replay. And welcome in Janice from Indiana in the USA. So lovely to have you here. So sit back and relax and enjoy this and the sacred story that's going to unfold. And also, as I am sharing and speaking, I invite you to really connect in with your body, with your soul, and really feel into how the story moves you. And before we dive more fully in, let's connect here in circle together. All of us from all around the world gathered here live and in the replay, and really open to feeling and connecting with each other's energy as we gather in circle. Once again, taking a breath here and allowing your breathing to slow, to deepen, whether you're wakening up or you've already lived today, this powerful 8-8 portal, Lunasa, the Lion's Gate, and the lovely day that it is. And feeling your feet on the ground beneath you, and your roots that unfurl from the soles of your feet into the soil beneath you, this ancient, fertile soil that supports us and calls on us to remember who we are as divine beings, as wise ones, as witches, or whatever archetype or guide that you connect with. And today, just before the full moon, it is another opportunity to release what else needs to go. What else is no longer yours to carry now, and allow that to go, to dissolve, to feck off if it needs to, no offense. And as you stand here, become aware of who you are in this moment. So I decided to bring out my standing desk today. So I'm standing, and I've got Patrick, my brother's dog, here beside me. So he's lying out here, lying out like a lion, actually, and he's got his two front paws touching my feet. So I think this is really gorgeous, the canine energy. It's like he's supporting whatever energy is moving. And his paws are big, they are. He is like a lion, really. And he barks. His bark is louder than the roar of a lion. You're lucky it doesn't transfer through the Zoom to you. And with that connection, let's connect heart to each other, from my heart to yours, and also crown to cosmos, so that we are all connected to the stars, the planets, our ancestors, past, present, future, merging in this moment as one. So the Witch Awakening on the 8-8 portal at 1:30 p.m. UK time. My journey had already begun, going into the dungeons, the Edinburgh dungeons, volunteering to go on mock role play as a witch, been trialed, been sentenced to death, been asked to testify on behalf of my witch brothers and sisters. And in that moment, it ignited an inner flame within me that I didn't know was there, that had been dormant for far too long. And what has unfurled from that moment 5 years ago up to now, it instantly began to unlock my voice, my creativity, but not just voice and creativity. It helped to bring a whole new resonance, a frequency of truth, of my truth now that I didn't know was possible, that I didn't know was within me. And that witch awakening in that moment placed me on a whole new path that I didn't know existed. So the last 5 years, it has been a series of initiations, witch initiations, in order to heal the witch wounding within me, again, that I did not know was here. I thought I was perfect up until that moment before entering the Edinburgh dungeons. And I was, of course, perfect, as are you. And there's always healing to be done. So I was being called to release and fully embody the words, the energies, the frequencies of the witches. The witches of Edinburgh Castle Esplanade as a collective, but also this collective council of witches that came in to guide me. So it's a collective energy for me, connecting to all the wise ones, the wisdom keepers, the shamans, the Shanakis across all timelines and cultures, and particularly the culture I belong to in this life, which is the Irish lineage, the Celtic lineage, and bringing the truths, the healing to that lineage. And the mantra that was gifted to me as I stood later that evening at the Witch's Well, this small, humble memorial that sits just at the entrance to Edinburgh Castle Esplanade. So many people don't know it's there. I didn't know it was there. I had to Google map it to find it. And it's just at the back of the Tartan gift shop, this huge gift shop I really recommend going in there if you're in Edinburgh, number 555. So that's always been the number for the witches for me. To rise up, to return to your power, because now is the hour to step onto your throne and come home. So over the 5 years, these words that were originally for me really beautiful poetry, and they are, and I know they resonate with so many of you. They are the mantra and the command that I was being called to embody and live by over these 5 years and beyond. And they continue to be my mantra, our mantra, for the collective to rise up, to reclaim our throne, our seat of power, of divinity that is your birthright in this life. We didn't come back. We didn't go through all those lives. If you've believed you've had witch lives, past lives, we didn't go through all that for nothing. We are back here to rise, to reclaim, to come home to the truth of who we are now. And each one of us deserves that in this lifetime. So that moment, that day, on the 8/8 portal 2020, I didn't even know about the Lion's Gate or the significance of this portal opening. But it also taught me boundaries. Boundaries. This ability and increased confidence to say no, no more. I am not going through this witch burning again. I am not going to betray my fellow brothers and sisters again. I am not going to be persecuted. I will not persecute. I am no longer the victim. I am healing these witch wounds once and for all, and it can take time. So where I was brought to after that day was into the murky depths, into the darkness bearing in mind I had emerged from the dungeons by now with my family, knowing that what had happened to me going on role play trial had happened in reality in a past life. So in the darkness, it's where I began to get to know myself once again, being called back to the womb of creation, the earth and womb, the cosmic womb, to be reborn again and heal. And I can tell you it's been scary as heck and exhilarating. And I was committed. I mean, I want to say I was committed, but really the witches would not let me alone. They would not leave me be. I would be woken up with poetry, with songs, with words that I had to share or else I would explode, honestly. And the Cailleach came in this thunder and lightning storm, and you really can't say no when the Cailleach witch comes in. So my whole world began to open up, and I was meeting these different guides that were archetypes, but also architects helping me to redesign my future now. So you may call them guardian angels, divine guides, ascended masters. These beings, these energies stepped in and made their presence known to me in beautiful, exciting, creative ways to help me heal the timelines, to support my awakening, and to help me reclaim my throne, namely by returning to balance, returning to balanced harmony. And I only realized this morning. Wow. What has been unfolding is this healing of my feminine timeline and my masculine timeline, healing the masculine and feminine energies within me. So the feminine archetypes are the witches of Scotland, the Irish goddesses, the high priestesses of Ireland, the Magdalens, the Magdalene witches, the queens of the royal seat of Tara. And that knowing that I have been these in those lifetimes, those memories were bubbling up. And the masculine timelines. I was taken to Essene lifetimes, as a Knight Templar, as a Cathar, as a monk, Egyptian high priest. And also this witch awakening really helped strengthen what already was a strong relationship with my father, now in spirit, Arthur, who gifted me his final word before death, that was resurrection. And he has walked by my side ever since. So he talks about resurrection. The witches were talking about rising up. And I was going through these great initiations of healing to rise, healing to rise. And this process continues. But these archetypes, I recognize myself in each of these archetypes as well. And as the healing continued and I was sharing the story of the witches, I had online summits to go deeper into the topic. In fact, 4 of the 6 online summits that I've done already were witch related, 4 of them. So it was a real deep dive into the various aspects of witch. I went on sacred pilgrimages, online, in person. We retreated to the lands of Scotland. Some of you here have been on retreat with me. We hugged in person. Scotland, Ireland. I personally went on pilgrimage to places like Glastonbury, to Gozo in Malta, such a beautiful goddess culture there. Remembering the wisdom that we encoded in the land, that we encoded in the rocks, in the architecture, in the temples, in the crystals, in the wind, for this time to come back, to walk these lands again as the integrated person that you are, that I am, masculine, feminine, imbalance, healing the woundings, to remember. So what are we remembering? What are we remembering? remembering the wisdom, the gifts, the crafts, our voice, and how we sang and wove and gathered in community together. It's all coming back now. Are you remembering? Do you remember? Do you want to remember? So it really helped me begin to trust myself again and my abilities and what was being shown to me, the visuals, the speaking, the sound, the audio, the feelings, all the clairs basically, and opening up my channel to receive more of the wisdom that I had hidden, that I'd buried for this time. And that's exciting and also scary if you're doing it alone, which is why the community has been so important for me. This community here, my community, our community, all of us together, that we can share what's happening for us. And it helped develop this new relationship with myself and with others. I've met so many new people in this time. Bearing in mind, I stepped out of corporate in 2017, and it wasn't to go on a journey of witch awakening. I could never have planned that in. But ultimately, that's what it's been. So the people, every one of us that have come back together again, we're soul friends. We must have made this pact to come back together at this time to support each other in the various different ways, maybe in an initiatory way, in a triggering way, in a healing way, to walk together until such time as we don't need to walk together anymore, but we're still walking together, metaphorically and in reality. So this is where the story takes another twist. I was doing all this healing over the years, meeting amazing people, unlocking my gifts, having amazing insights, stepping in and embodying the witch archetype, the Magdalene archetype, the Knights Templar archetype, all these different archetypes, the times I was the monk and the priest. And it was very exhilarating and exciting. But there was one thing that wasn't adding up. I left corporate. My background is in banking and finance. I studied commerce and economics, a master of economics, and my finances were not adding up in my business. So why I was doing all this healing, I was having these amazing success stories, abundance was flowing, and yet my business was experiencing this feast or famine nature. Feast or famine. And I began to question, what is it? What am I doing wrong? The witches have ignited this flame within me. I'm following my soul calling, aren't I? I was having these wobbly moments. And yet, this feast and famine is really tricky to deal with. So I was doing all the healing. I was rising. I was reclaiming my gifts. Yet my business bank account was getting into serious trouble. The money was flowing, but as quickly as it flowed in, it flowed back out again. Maybe some of you can resonate with this. So I was so focused on the witch wound, on bringing back balance to my life, on my spiritual path, and yes, on charging for my gifts and putting them out there into the world. And there was something about this sacred cauldron of my bank account that did not want to hold on to this money. Yes, money wants to flow and be in the hands of the light workers and all of that. I've read all the books, I've done all of that. And my reality, I felt like I was in famine times and then feast times. So in addressing the witch wound, I had ignored and shut out my money wounds, my relationship with money. Literally shut the door on that, and I had thrown away that key. And I thought, I'm doing all the right things here, following my witch calling. And yet the money wound got louder and louder the more I went into the darkness of the witch wound to know myself again. Really, really incredible, actually, to notice that now and have that awareness. And it took a moment a few years ago when my friend died. My friend passed away. It was quite suddenly. It was another wake-up call for me. And she had hidden her addiction to alcohol from me. I knew she liked a drink, but didn't know the extent of her addiction to alcohol. Her family knew and helped her, did as much as they can. But ultimately, it was too late for her when she stepped forth and admitted that she needed help. Her liver could no longer cope, and she passed away a few years ago. That had such a huge impact on me. When I went over to Ireland for her funeral, I realized that the cost of her hiding her addiction had been death. She died because she didn't receive the right support. She couldn't ask for it. She pretended she was getting the right support and wasn't. And I realized, wow, if I don't address this great big money wound, this feast and famine that I'm experiencing, I don't want to die because of that. So I knew I had to face the demons or else go to my grave. I had to face the demons beyond the witch wound, which I didn't know there was, but they were waiting for me. I hadn't planned on leaving corporate to follow the witchy path, but that's what had unfolded. I hadn't planned on leaving corporate to realize one day that I'm broke and I'm in debt. But it took my friend's death a few years ago to hold my hands up and go, this is the situation. And I was going to say you wouldn't believe, but maybe you do. Maybe you do know this, because it was my shameful secret and it was weighing me down and metaphorically killing me. I'd wake in the night and feel the weight of the debt that was mounting, the feast and famine, the flowing in, the flowing out, the lack of nourishment I was feeling, and it was weighing down like a ton of bricks on my chest, but I could hardly breathe. And I didn't want it to be the death of me. So I began addressing my finances, both practically, getting in touch with the banks. Every step was a scary one. Making the repayments on my debts, turning that around, being brave, speaking to people, and owning up, confessing. I remember reading Brené Brown's book years ago about the one thing that shame loves and thrives on is secrecy. Secrecy. So to heal the shame, we speak about it. We speak. We share. We hold our hands up. We are perfectly imperfect, and we receive the support. You don't have to do it live on air, on Zoom, on YouTube, in whatever way is right for you. And I remember reading that book at the time and going, oh, that's nice. Great, good for her. She's speaking about her shame. Nice. Never do that. And here I am, speaking about it. So the practical aspects I was dealing with, and also the spiritual aspects. Addressing my money wounding, relationship with money, the beliefs and the patterns around money, not just from this lifetime, inherited from previous lifetimes, from my lineage, the wealth and finances, and probably one of the biggest wounds that I feel in my body, in my Irish lineage, my Celtic lineage, is the famine wound. The famine wound of poverty of lack, of victimhood, of suppression. So how could we hold on to the money? How could we build the wealth when these wounds are still here? It wasn't safe, and my body was telling me it's not safe. It's not safe to hold on to this wealth. You must release it now to stay in this state of woundedness, of poverty. So these were huge insights, and the healing, even with the awareness, the healing happens, doesn't it? And coming out and speaking about it was such a challenge, and still is. I can feel my throat, and yet it helps open the throat chakra and bring humility and grace to each one of us, that we all go through our initiations, no matter how big or small. But I remember especially the day I plucked up the courage to tell my husband, my goodness, his face. I'll always remember that day. So those feelings of shame, of guilt, of failure, of defeat, when everything on the outside looks great, woohoo, it's all brilliant. But inside, the healing is happening. There's the chaos and the confusion. So it seems like it's always been my trajectory, having gone in to study commerce and economics, then working in corporate financial services for 20 years. I mean, how could something like that happen to me? You know? But it's great with other people's money, but we've got to learn to respect and honor ourselves as well, and money. So the witches had ground me to a halt over these 5 years until I addressed the money wound. They had helped me with all the other stuff, the creativity, the voice, the song, the summits, the poetry, the online programs, the retreats. And now it was the next part of my initiation. And nothing else could happen until I addressed it. So who resonates with that? With these moments in our life where just stuff isn't working out. The flame, you think it's going out. You're dying and resurrecting and rebirthing. You're following your soul path. And there's this frustration of, what else? What is there? But when we take a moment to really be honest and truthful, deep down, you know what it is. We know. And Claudia is saying, unfortunately, I do know that money issue far too well working as a freelancer. And it really is amazing as entrepreneurs, as freelancers. So I stepped out of that supposed safety of the corporate cocoon, of the regular salary, into entrepreneurship. But really, what that's enabled to happen is this initiation into healing that, into healing it. Because when we heal that and fully reclaim our power, the throne, then we are wealth. We exude it and the money flows. When we heal the ability to receive, that we are enough, that I am enough to receive the wealth, the money, and allow it to nourish me rather than try to let go of it like, oh, no, 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 like a hotcake. I'm not having this. Take it, take everything. I receive it because my body was telling me it was not safe until I healed. Wendy, thank you for your strength and courage to address something that so many of us are dealing with. You're a beacon of bravery and courage. Oh, I'm feeling teary reading this, Wendy. Thank you. Thank you for speaking it, acknowledging and addressing it. Yeah. And I hadn't planned to talk about it. I was just planning on celebrating the last 5 years of this witch awakening. And then as I sat down and connected to what wanted to be shared, I thought, oh no, I've got to share this, or else I'm not being honest and truthful of what this 5-year initiation has been for me up until this point. And thank you, Nana, over on YouTube. Greetings from a circle of stones. That's gorgeous that you're with the stones today. Gorgeous. So what happened next? What happens when we speak our truth, the good, the bad, the ugly, and what is truly happening in our life, and what this next initiation was for me, along with the witch awakening? Well, I talked about the masculine and feminine archetypes and the guides in the past lives that I connected to over the course of the last 5 years. The one archetype that I hadn't fully embodied and was called to in the last few years is the queen archetype. The witches were great, the Magdalene witches, but the queen archetype. And to be honest, it wasn't something that had resonated with me up until this point, because the queen carries the patriarchal queen energy. It's what's been experienced in my country, in my land, in my ancestry. It carries the fear codes, the trauma, the suppression, the lack of freedom, the lack of sovereignty. It's not true queendom. So the Irish goddesses were showing me, and the gods showing me, demonstrating, this is true queendom. This is true kingdom. And one day, when you're ready, you will embody both. So that's what we're here for, to embody both. I had had visions of me as queen in ancient times. I know you've followed me, many of you, for a long time, and we've gone to the Hill of Tara, we've gone to Loch Crew, Brúna Bóinne complex, Newgrange, and been the queens, walked as high priestesses and priests across the land, and remembered what it feels like to be fully integrated and healed and in our power. And yet there was this gap, this gaping hole between the visions and the reality for me. And somehow I was being called to build a bridge, or actually to be the bridge to bring these together. So the mantra of the witches to step onto my throne, it was time to become an embodied sovereign queen, a divine queen, no longer the patriarchal queen. That's something of the past. We are co-crafting the new archetypes now, the new ways of being, and the new sacred economies as a result. Because this sovereign queen takes an active part in her life. She doesn't sit in her castle alone on her throne, singing songs to herself, wishing she was out there. This queen is the queen that's out there in society, participating. She doesn't just get paid for being queen. She takes an active part in the energetic exchange of giving and receiving, and that also includes money and an overflowing bank account. So I was to practice what I preach, using the tools, the techniques, the knowledge that I'd amassed over my lifetime, and the same for you, over lifetimes, and to stop giving my power away to others. My goodness, how many initiations I've been through giving my power away to others, as if I have forgotten that the wisdom is within me. And know that I am enough. You are enough. We are perfect exactly as we are at this moment in time. So the queen archetype who stepped in to support me was helping me to bridge the corporate and spiritual gap. Because up until that point, and if you've heard me speak before, they have been separate. There's the corporate stuff and life, and the spiritual life. but I really feel we're being called to bring these lives together now. All these lives we've lived in this life, and to step into our divine queendom and kingdom. So I allowed myself to rise, because the more healing I was doing, the less dense I was becoming. So I was able to rise so much more. And the more I embodied the queen, the more the money wound healed. And I got back on track again, onto a whole new spiral as an abundant, wealthy, golden, illuminated queen. So 5 years on from that witch awakening, on this anniversary today, and it's 1414 as I share this, beautiful sacred numbers, I have integrated witch and embodied my royal noble queen. So hand on heart, I share this with you from a lived experience and these exciting and scary, exhilarating initiations. And I share them so that we no more need to suppress our voices in shame, in guilt. If you're feeling it, if you're experiencing this in whatever way in your life, there are others that are experiencing that too. And when we share and speak, we invite others that resonate the same frequency to step in and connect. So thank you for listening. Thank you for honoring me, this journey. It's a joy to share it, a little bit scary, and a joy. And I will share my offering in a moment, but I want to read how this has moved through you. Carolyn is saying, yes, hearing each other's truths really help us feel and know and own our own truths. And Michelle is saying, thank you so much, Emer, for your courage in sharing this. It really resonates and is helping me to make sense of my own journey. I've been on a recent journey around feeling deserving to receive. Isn't that wonderful? Yes. And that will continue to open up. It will continue. And Haley is saying, this queen is the queen who is out there in the community giving and receiving. Beautiful. Yes, yes. And I do feel when Queen Elizabeth II died, I felt so moved that I had to go see her entourage going down the Edinburgh Royal Mile. And also it felt so wrong when they kept saying she was the sovereign queen. And that's when the queen energy began to connect with me, when I started really feeling into what is sovereignty and how can we be sovereign in the structures of the patriarchal construct that we've been living in. When we let that go and heal and dissolve, we step into the new to co-create this new world and new archetypes, ancient new. And Ina Rose is saying, we hear you, Queen. Yeah, I feel like now I'm going, preach, Queen, preach. Okay. I don't want to be the preachy queen. Ira is saying, yes, shame is so present and limiting me in all my identities as mother, entrepreneur, and priestess to be, etc. Yes, it's the next piece. It's the next key to be with and be kind to ourselves with. Because we've got these gifts, and I fully believe we can have a business and be supported and earn money from our gifts. It's what we're meant to do now in this new co-creative earth. Lika is saying, thank you, Queen. Yeah, I hope this doesn't go to my head a bit. The witches will bring me down to earth. Yeah, call me Queen from now on. I love that you share on things that are almost taboo and not spoken about. Money. How come it's so hard to share, I wonder? It's a great of you to be so honest and open to what happened in the past years. Can others do something to reach out? Oh, that's beautiful, Lika. Thank you. Yeah, and how we support each other. We really do. Well, I'm going to share my new program, which is all about the Queen, about the Queen, about the Queen. And let me share my screen. Just make sure I'm on the right tab. So this is what has emerged as I've been walking with Queen and merging these identities that are being healed within me. So I do feel I'm on the other side of these experiences and still walking and healing with these experiences. It's these initiations they do continue. So what I want to share with you today is an invitation to the Queen Code Wealth Temple. This is the New Earth Queen, a sacred wealth activation for women, mainly women, as we reclaim our power of our wombs, of our creativity, our power, our purpose, our prosperity, to become, to be the embodied sovereign queen. And it's not just another archetype to talk about that's nice and fancy. We are being called to be the queen. So it's an 8-week online program that starts on the 20th of August. So I'll put the link in the chat, and to anyone watching the YouTube replay or is live on YouTube, the link will be in the description afterwards. Oh, Claudia is sharing, I feel there's so much that needs to be healed, particularly for women, allowing ourselves to live the energy of the Queen, no longer giving away so much, remaining depleted, but instead getting into the money flow, having an abundantly overflowing bank account and a healthy way of exchanging energy and having enough me time. That is so beautiful, Claudia, so well said. Yes to all of that. So this is the ethos of the Queen Code Wealth Temple. This beautiful space that is inspired by my journey. It's birthed through me and this journey of leaving my corporate financial career, as I know so many people have, following the call of our soul and experiencing the freedom, the truth, the expansion, the excitement, the adventure. And then the reality, which for me was becoming broke and burnt out and really having to face that. Or, as my body was telling me, experience death all over again. So this is bridging the spiritual and financial gap to become fully abundant once again. This is the new trajectory of my life's work, my mastery, bringing all of the gifts, everything I've learned, everything that's helped me embody a queen as Queen Emer. And I want to share this with you and support you too. So it is your invitation to monetize your soul codes. What is your soul calling you to do, to be, in a deeply earthed, rooted way? If you've walked with me for this long time, I am so connected to the land and the earth and the roots, but also in a sacred way, and embody a new kind of feminine prosperity that we know is here and is possible. So I welcome you to the Queen Code Wealth Temple to unlock your abundance, regulate your nervous system. Because when we're running in fear, I was running in fear with my head buried in the ground. And that was pulling me back. Literally, I could feel it pulling me back until I could go no further. So this is about helping to heal the fear, witnessing each other, supporting each other, and stepping into that vision of the soul-led business in your unique way. So it's an 8-week wealth activation journey with live Queen Code Wealth transmission calls to embody the sovereign queen, with embodied money rituals, somatic wealth practices, and divine feminine business structures with income flow templates. This is really important because they integrate what I can share based on my corporate financial background with the sacred entrepreneurial soul path that I have been leading for the last 9 years. Yes, this is year 9 of my journey. Voice as the witches have helped me support Heal the Voice and visibility coaching. And so important with the call of Ireland and the land, and through healing ourself and these codes, especially if you've got Celtic lineage or Irish lineage, we're also healing the land of Eru and all of our ancestors with this return to Tara frequency, 5-dimensional Tara, the new earth codes, and wealth nervous system recalibration tools. So the link is in the chat. You can read on here that this is for you to have this consistency in your life. No more feast and famine, to heal our relationship with money and honor money, because that's where I am now. I honor money. I've gone from hating money, hating it, and wishing all the banks would wishing awful things on the banks, should I say. And now there's healing. I can address these and transmute the famine wound that so many of us hold and recode our beliefs. It is so amazing what a belief can hold, the hold a belief can have on us. And the word lie, L-I-E, is part of belief. So has that become a lie now? And I'll share more personal stories within the temple container of what beliefs became lies for me and the new beliefs and patterns that we have the power to recode. And it's not just here saying, mantras are great, affirmations are great. It's embodying these new beliefs. And activate your Irish Queen wealth lineage. Yes, we are calling that in to connect and resurrect your gold, your Celtic gold, and this royal noble frequency. Why did the high priests and priestess don themselves in gold and jewelry? I used to think it was just for the beauty and also the healing resonance of gold. But actually, I also realize it's because they know themselves as wealthy. They know themselves as good enough to wear such royal, noble, stable elementals on their skin. They know who they are. And that is the Queen codes. And no more pushing and pleasing, to the ease that is magnetic receiving. Through your presence, Queen Emer, telling all of you, through your presence, you know it. When you're in that state, that's when the magic, the miracles, the synchronicities happen. So you get to build your business. If you're in corporate and want to step out, or you're already an entrepreneur, a freelancer, and you wish for that support, or perhaps you've had great success and you're at this plateau point, you're at this pause plateau and wish to embody more of that wealth codes within you. So I love this image of this so powerful with the gold. So when you are the divine embodied queen at the end of this journey, you've cleared your wealth blocks. You have an overflowing bank account. You are CEO queen of your own queendom with your sustainable business and a soulful structure that propels you forward. And we all get to be queens together. There is no hierarchy in this queendom, may I add. We are all in circle walking together. So it also includes activations from the sovereign Irish queens and their beautiful archetypes, reclaiming sacred power and land rooted in abundance, healing the motherline, healing the persecution wounds, the poverty, the servitude, the victim wound is such a biggie. This has been done to us. Well, now is the lifetime that we are empowered to heal that and step forth. And there goes my voice. And the golden thread. I think I added more here. I'm just going to, just going to update that. And also the voice of the land and the ancestors that want us to be wealthy in this life. They went through such hardship and poverty. I mean, many of mine did. I can't speak for everyone. This is the life where we will experience the joy of full, wealthy queendom and kingdom. And so your investment, you can read what people have said in this energetic and financial reclamation, where you build wealth that's sustainable, it's sacred, it's joyful, and it's sovereign. So I've put this at a sale price until the 14th of August. So the regular price is 2,222, and the sale price until the 14th of August 2025 is 1,111. This is what has come through from the embodied Queen Emer to you as the exchange for the energy that we will hold in this sacred container. I am sharing everything, my life's work, with you, so that we walk together in joy, in fun, in laughter, as queens embodying our wealth codes. So if you feel called, you can click on that link. I can also offer payment plans. You can send me an email, emer@stassen.co.uk. We begin on the 20th of August for 8 weeks. And also, that's not just all, you receive the one-on-one Queen Wealth Code Soul Coaching. So you receive my undivided Queen attention to support you in your unique calling. And Mother Money Celtic Gold Codes transmission, and a guest masterclass on story, the power of story, which you've experienced today, soul and sovereignty. And also we will have a chat group called the Queen Wealth Temple chat group, because I don't know about you, but this queen likes to chat, and that really helps me in addressing the shame and the problem or what's going on, but also celebrating and supporting each other. So this is going to be an intimate space, an intimate cauldron for people. So if you're interested or want to know more, let me know, send me an email. And if it feels like a yes for you, then step right in. And I'll put it in the chat on YouTube and see if that works. I'm not sure if it will. And so I thank you for listening and for celebrating with me on this very powerful day, Lunasa, and the anniversary of my witch awakening 5 years on. And these moments, celebrating these moments that change the course of our life. And if anyone has questions before we wrap up, pop them in the chat now. It would be lovely to hear. Haley is saying this queen likes to chat too. Oh yes, I know you do, Haley, and I love chatting with you too. Hi, Leah. Thank you, Emer. Beautifully shared. I resonate. My scarcity wounds keep me small and scared under the illusion of safety. So beautifully expressed. I love working with the Empress archetype. My sovereignty. Queen can trigger patriarchal wounds. It's true. Yeah. And I feel like it's probably why I haven't turned towards Queen in the past, and it was all these other archetypes first and then Queen. And even when I went out, there's a Queen tribute band that plays locally, and I kept seeing the banner Queen, Queen. So everywhere I was looking, Queen was speaking to me to connect with the divine queen of 2025 and who that is. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Mia. Amanda, wow, Emer, a totally unexpected and at once a divinely timed offering. I feel and honor your sovereignty and your golden crown. Thank you. And if I had a crown with me today, I would have worn it, but I'm glad you can see it. That's so gorgeous. You blaze a much needed light on the money wound. Deep gratitude for giving such clarity to what I need to release, heal, and transmute on this 8-8. So much gratitude to you, Amanda, too. Thank you for expressing that. Ina Rose, thank you, Emer. Blessings for your upcoming Queen container and the summation of your life's work to date. Stepping onto your throne, indeed. Yeah. And aren't we all in such gorgeous ways? I may need to get a new chair. It's funny, I'm standing actually, and I put my normal desk chair over there. So maybe it's time for a new throne-like chair. Claudia, thank you for your openness. You're so welcome. I'll probably end this and go, oh my gosh, what have I done? That's in Brené Brown's book too, isn't it? If anyone's read her book on shame and secrecy, and then the next day she shares, and then the next day she has this shame hangover. So I'll let you know if that happens. Katerina, thank you for this powerful share. I celebrate you. That's it, the vulnerability hangover. That's what she talks about, vulnerability and being vulnerable. And ultimately, it's speaking our truth and what's alive within us. And the witches have been so kind at prodding me and pushing me forward in a beautiful way to be Queen Emer that I am today. Haley, thank you. Do not question any of this beauty. It transforms. Yes, we all get them. Yeah, we absolutely do. Loving the crown emojis. Well, thank you everyone so much for taking the time to be here live. We have so many of you on here on Zoom and in YouTube. Have the most beautiful 8-8 portal. I know there's lots of events going on. Anyway, in my inbox, lots of 8-8 events. So take some time as well out in nature to walk with your energies and what's flowing through you at this time. Happy full moon when it comes tomorrow, and to the exciting developments as we claim our queendom, our kingdom, and what that is. So much love to you all. Queen Emer. I'm going to have to tell my family now to call me Queen Emer. Do you think they'll be willing? Vera, thank you, Emer. Wishing you all the wealth and success your queen deserves, and the same for all of us, that we receive all the wealth that we deserve to be the fullest expression of ourselves in this world. Jennifer Muldoon, so much love and blessing. I don't know why I'm singing your because I always find your name so musical. Love and blessings until we hold court together again. Yes. And when we retreat together in Ireland next year, you must call me Queen. In fact, Kerry, where I'm hosting the Dingle retreat next year, is called the Kingdom of Kerry. So there you go. Good luck with the family. Thanks, Wendy. Address me as Queen. That's the patriarchal, isn't it? I don't need to be addressed as that, do I? Okay. They just know because it's embodied. So much love to you all. If you have dropped your roots into the earth, invite them to furl back up again into the soles of your feet and bringing your crown roots down. And as we connect heart to heart, call your energy back in to yourself to embody yourself. Yes. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Anna. Blessings. And we will see you again soon. From my queendom to yours. Bye for now.